Guys, this is lesson 14. This is the last lesson in the addition and subtraction of mixed numbers topic. So good job. Keep going. We're just going to do some word problems and talk about addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. So Yuna's car trip will take 9 2/3 hours of driving. She stops to take a break after 5 4/5 hours. How many hours does Una still need to drive after her break? Well, this is a very important question. Okay, so we're using the read, draw, write method. We just read. And let's read it one more time and kind of underline the important information, right? Because you want to make sure that you're understanding the problem. It might take another 10 seconds to read it the second time, and that could really illuminate some things for you to make sure that you are understanding the question. So she's going to drive 9 2/3 hours and the whole trip, right? There's the whole trip, 9 2/3 hours. She's taking a break after 5 4/5 hours. So if this is 9 2/3, the whole thing, right? And I just drew a line, but you could also draw a strip diagram if you wanted to. I could even make it in, not very well. I could make it into a tape diagram. There we go. So the whole thing is 9 2/3 hours. Maybe this is where she takes her break right here at 5 4/5 hours. All right, drawing a something or a tape diagram or any kind of a picture is the idea is to help you kind of visualize the problem, right? She drove 5 4/5 hours. Just going to put an H there for hours. She has this much left to go. This is the question. How much more does she need to drive of the total 9 2/3 hours? Okay. And then, how many hours does she still need to drive after her break? Okay. So you might be noticing a couple of things about the problem, which is these are fifths and these are thirds. So we're definitely going to need to make them the same before we do any addition or subtraction. Now also we have to think about, should we be adding or subtracting? So we could think of a simpler problem that sometimes helps. Let's say that I'm going to work on something for 3 hours, right? I'm going to work on something for 3 hours. 3 hours, and I already worked on it for 2 hours, and that means I have 1 hour left, right? So 3 hours, take away 2 hours, leaves 1 hour. Maybe I could do it this way, would be better, right? 3 hours takes away 2 hours, leaves 1 hour. So it sounds like subtraction would work for us here. See how easy it was to model that, just to practice that with a simpler problem? That can sometimes help a lot. All right, so I'm going to say 9 2/3 minus 5 1/4. Sorry, 5 4/5. There we go. All right, and that's going to tell me how much time she has left, right? Just like 3 take away 2 is going to leave me 1. All right, that makes sense. Now, like I said, we have thirds and we have fifths. So we need to make them both into the same thing. 3 times 5 is 15. They are unlike, they are unrelated. I don't see anything else that's going to help me. I'm going to have to change them both, right? And like I always say, do your little frame on the side. It can be just a quick little sketch. 2/3 times 5, right? Really struggling with my 5s there. Okay, there we go. That would be 10/15. You are writing this all down. Make sure you have your notes. You don't want to have to rewatch the video to get the notes. Okay, so that's going to be 10/15. I'm just going to write this down here. All right. 9 10/15. And then my 4/5 I'm going to multiply by 3, right? Using that method of multiplying the denominators by each other. Always works. Not always the best, but always works. So that's going to be 12/15. Okay, very good. And then I'm going to rewrite it down here. 9 and 10/15 minus 5 and 12/15. And if you've been following along our last few lessons, you might have noticed another problem here. That 5 does not look very good. Okay, what is the other problem? 10 minus 12. Beware of backward subtraction, right? I cannot subtract 12 from 10. So there is a lot of different ways that you could solve this. We're going to be talking about some of those ways. Okay, so let's talk about some of those ways. You know what? I'm going to do the borrowing method that I've been showing you, and then we'll go talk about those other ways, just because this might get erased, right? So I'm going to take one away from my 9, and I'm going to take it down to 8. I'm going to take 12 12s from that 9. So really, right, this is kind of like a tip, the one I can never remember, where you make the circles. Okay, so it's kind of like 8 and 12 makes 9, right? And then I'm just going to take that and combine it with the 10 12ths. Now, once again, this is the same, right? This whole thing is the same as this whole thing, right? 9 and 10/15. 15ths, sorry. Let me erase that. Somehow I got onto writing 12ths instead of 15ths. Got to be careful about that, right? Yeah, see, this should be 15/15. Always checking your work and making sure you're not going too fast. Must have gotten distracted. There we go. Okay, so I took my 9 and I changed it to 8 and 15/15. This is still 9, right? Just one of them is broken into 15 parts. And then my 10/15. And I'm just putting it all together. This is all the same number as 9 and 10/15. You see that? Okay, and then we're going to subtract the 5 and 12/15. Okay. And sorry for my messy writing. And I never put these two together because 10 and 15 makes 25. Okay, now I don't want you to get confused because of the addition there. Sometimes kids are like, why are we adding in the middle of subtraction? It's just because we took that one out and now we're putting these two together, right? Okay, so 25 minus 12. You can write it down if you need to. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 2 minus 1 is 1, so that's 13/15, right? Okay, and 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 and 13/15 hours remaining, right? And you need to write a sentence. Una still needs to drive 3 and 13/15 hours. All right. Now, I'm going to wait till the next video to show you the other ways to do this. All right. So catch me in the next video. Thanks very much for your hard work. Aloha.